مدد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم دستور ولا شاء الله فإذا استشهد محمد كان مدد طريقتنا الصحبة والخير في الجميع. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولله عاقبة الأمور. Her şeyin sonunda Allah'ın izniyle ona dönecek.
Everything has an ending, and with the permission of Allah Almighty, everything will return to its origin.
Ne varsa Allah'ın takdiriyle,
whatever there is, by the will and by the decree of Allah Almighty, everything will return to its origin.
Sonuç Allah Azze ve Celle'nin karşısında olup,
and the ending of everyone, everything is to stand in front of one's Lord, Allah Almighty, in the end.
Onunla beraber olan, ona karşı olan ama insanlar,
those who have been with Allah Almighty and those who have been against Allah Almighty throughout their lifetimes, both will in the end face the Lord, Allah Almighty.
Onu hiç hesap etmiyorlar.
But those who rebel and revolt against Allah Almighty do not consider that in the end they will have to face Allah Almighty.
Akıllarını getirmiyorlar.
They do not they do not ponder about this, and they do not have a single thought about this outcome.
Akibet hayır olsun de.
May our ending and the outcome be a blessed one.
İsteriz.
And this is what we pray and ask for, is to have a good ending, a blessed outcome.
Akibet şer olunca dünyada ne kadar yaptıkları varsa onların hesabını verir.
If the outcome, if the ending is bad or evil, then you will be held accountable for all the wrongdoings and sins you have committed throughout your lifetime.
Cezasını çeker.
And then in the hereafter, when you stand in front of Allah Almighty, you will pay the price for your wrongdoings and sins.
Onun için insan sabırsızdır.
People are in general without patience.
Hikmetsizdir.
They lack wisdom.
Her olan her şeye hikmetle bakmak lazım ki
We need to look at every event with wisdom.
Zorluk da olur.
There may be hardship.
Kolaylık da olur.
There may be moments of ease.
Zorluk için insan üzülmesin.
And we must never forget that if we undergo moments of hardship, we must not be sad.
Akibet en son ne olacak ona baksın.
Moments of hardship are not worth our sadness, because what matters in the end is the outcome and is the ending of the events.
Akibet hayır olsun.
And we must pray for the ending and the outcome to be a blessed one.
Odur mühim olan.
This is what is important.
Bütün bu yaşadıklarımız hayat en sonda bir sonu olacak.
The life you live and everything you experience, everything has an ending, and so does life have an ending.
Sonu hayır olacak.
And we must pray for having a good ending.
Olan hayat kurtulmuş olur.
A life that leads to a good ending is a life that will result in salvation.
Saadet hayatıdır.
It is a life that will result in eternal bliss.
Ne kadar zorluk çekse dünyada onların ecri var.
No matter how much hardship you undergo throughout your life, there is a reward for every single difficulty you undergo.
Sevabı var.
And there is a reward for it.
Allah yolunda olan için.
For those who are following the way of Allah Almighty.
Allah yolunda olmayan için hiçbir faydası yok.
Those who do not follow the way of Allah Almighty, there is nothing to be gained from the hardships or difficulties one may undergo.
Hiçbir iyiliği yok, zarardan başka şey değil.
And there is no goodness in the difficulties that person goes through, and there's only damage and loss to be obtained for those who do not follow the way of Allah Almighty.
Onun için bazen zorluklar olur.
Sometimes there are difficulties,
Günün sonunda hayat, başka ne varsa
but what is the outcome at the end of the day?
Selamete kavuştu mu insan, Allah'a şükretmesi lazım.
If the outcome, if the ending is peace and salvation, then you need to be thankful to Allah Almighty and appreciate it.
Allah'a hamd etmesi lazım.
And you must give then thanks to Allah Almighty.
Çünkü o şükürle, hamdle o teslimiyet.
It is by giving thanks to Allah Almighty and expressing our gratitude that we demonstrate our devotion to Allah Almighty.
Allah'a karşı olan iman, itikad yerine gelmiş olur.
And it is through our gratitude and our thankfulness that we express our devotion and we fulfill the proof of our faith and belief in Allah Almighty.
Öteki türlü isyan edersen hiçbir faydası olmaz.
However, if we fight against Allah Almighty, if we revolt or rebel against Allah Almighty, then there is no benefit or no blessing for us to obtain.
Hiçbir sevaba nail olamazsın.
And there is no reward to be obtained.
İşin sonuna bakın.
Therefore, we must always focus on the outcome and the ending of things.
Sonu hayır olsun her işimiz inşallah.
May the ending and the outcome of all what we do be a blessed one.
Amnallah tevfik el-Fatiha.